What if some of the biggest organizations, economic treaties, and military alliances got into a massive battle royale? Some of these you've definitely heard of before. For example, if you watched my previous video, BRICS versus NATO, we had to have both of those teams rejoin us for this giant war we're about to see. But there's also going to be some new ones that maybe are a little bit less familiar. Well, I think a lot of people have heard of the African Union. I basically used this video for inspiration. I also made a video about this on my main channel as well. It's important to remember that not all these are technically real-life military alliances. A lot of the times they're just like economic organizations. So we do have the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. They're in a pretty nice corner on the map. We also have the Arab League, which is a regional organization. Of course, I couldn't include all the members a part of that alliance because some are already a part of BRICS. Same goes for the African Union. Technically, the African Union has all of the African countries in it, but in this world, they're still going to be pretty powerful, I think. We also have one that I just kind of recently discovered, the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. It's a great way to combine this region of the world. Finally, there's a Central Asian organization. We have Oceania out here. And you might notice there are obviously a couple of independent countries that haven't technically joined a certain team, which I wanted to do that because that might make things a bit more exciting. It gives them more options. They can either join one of the already existing alliances or make their own. All right, so here we go. I don't even know if there's like a reason to look at the map in a like the regular diplomatic map mode. Probably makes more sense just to watch the game from here. So Sweden, an independent nation, immediately took out a NATO country, that was Denmark, and immediately the Arab League took out Jerusalem. Also, BRICS is going after Mongolia, and these Central Asian nations are doing really one of the only things they can do and attacking Afghanistan. That's because they're kind of surrounded by a really powerful team, obviously with BRICS. Oh my goodness, do we already have the Arab League going after the African Union? I think we do. And I think, is BRICS involved too? We don't. Okay, these wars aren't massive yet. I'm noticing the entire alliance isn't immediately jumping in on the action. Of course, Western Sahara was taken out pretty fast. They were in the African Union. Ooh, China just declared war on Taiwan. Wait, did North Korea join? I think North Korea joined a team with Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. Now they're, okay, well, they're gone. China just ate that. Somalia was conquered by Kenya. Also, Qatar was taken out. Saudi Arabia ate them. So, again, the Arab League losing members. Look at Nepal go fight India single-handedly. I'm immediately noticing that this world's a lot crazier than our NATO versus BRICS video. There's just a lot more wars going on. I feel like the teams aren't afraid to go at it. Germany got really lucky. I thought Austria was going to take out all of Germany. And now we have the UK once again fighting Ireland because that's what they do. I actually forgot that Ireland is not technically in NATO. Ooh, Sri Lanka actually just joined the ASEAN nations. That's a pretty genius move for Sri Lanka. That should keep them safe. These nations haven't really done much in terms of war just yet. Meanwhile, we have Moldova and Serbia forming their own team. They're not going to join BRICS or NATO. Of course, Ukraine is not in a team right now. Maybe Ukraine doesn't even need to be in a team. They don't have a whole lot of money, but they are. Who's funding them? It has to be someone from their alliance. It might be Saudi Arabia or Egypt. The UK just got taken out. London is gone. It's now Irish controlled. So the BRICS nations are trying to, well, it looks like he had trouble against Uruguay. Argentina did. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now these Southeast Asian nations, instantly Sri Lanka. Oh man, I was hyping up Sri Lanka like that was a smart move. I think it was, but they still died instantly. Okay, so now these guys are fighting all of BRICS, which is a scary combination. Russia did just collapse to Ukraine, so that's a huge BRICS member that's now gone. I swear, is this gonna be like last time? Is there gonna be someone that wasn't even a part of one of the initial alliances that ends up winning? That's totally possible here. Look at how powerful Kazakhstan just got, and Mongolia. Okay, so there's now India just got eliminated, so instantly BRICS lost some of their strongest members. Look how big Central Asia is now getting, this Central Asian alliance. Sudan has been eliminated by South Sudan. Holy crap, look at Nepal go now. Nepal and Bangladesh, they both have a lot more territory. Japan actually stretched up and got this piece of Siberia. I guess we can take a look at the political map mode now because things are getting really weird. Oh, so did Norway end up taking back Denmark, kind of? Or I think Sweden just got Copenhagen, basically. Very big alliance war for the Latin American countries trying to kick out the BRICS nations. It's just Brazil and Argentina. It's a weird group to be teaming up. I know they don't really like each other. Oh, now Bangladesh just joined the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So they did end up getting a new member. They're pretty good at recruiting, I'm noticing. Maybe they'll get Nepal too, who knows? Well, Central Asia got Afghanistan and Pakistan, which is a really natural... I was actually hoping to find a team that included like all of this region region of the world. I could only find like Central Asia, but I'm glad that they got Afghanistan and Pakistan on board. Maybe they'll get Azerbaijan, and who knows, Ukraine too. NATO doesn't look that powerful in Europe, surprisingly. Also, they are currently fighting the Arab League. African Union still has so many members. They're actually looking like a really good team, even though size-wise they don't look that impressive. Brazil is slowly single-handedly taking out a lot of the Latin American team. Switzerland was just conquered by Germany. France got a lot of that though. We now have Kazakhstan going after Mongolia. Mongolia, you need some friends, man. And Ukraine is single-handedly taking on NATO for some reason. They're fighting like 3 different fronts. Okay, that's probably the best thing, just to peace out. Ooh, Morocco again declared war on Spain, which pulls the Arab League into a war with NATO, kind of. Wait, how did Spain get this? Oh, their island. Spain got all this territory. And finally, NATO is at war with the Latin American nations. The problem is this is not going to be too easy. I guess the Latin American nations are looking weaker than ever. Wait, they did take out Argentina. BRICS, again, just lost another member. It's pretty much just Brazil. Oh, also, Brazil is attacking the African Union. Bhutan just conquered, no, Bangladesh just conquered Bhutan. Also, NATO is starting to slowly clean up former Yugoslavian territory. BRICS really needs to do something here because they're looking so weak. It's really just China at this point. Maybe they can get another friend. Wait, who is that? Did Guyana just leave? Oh, Guyana revolted away from Brazil. Now they're not a part of any team. That can flip this upside down. The US actually looks like they kind of lost their war against Latin America. A revolt in Hungary. Austria just reformed. They did not want to be at Austria-Hungary again, I guess. And there goes Ukraine. NATO took them out. The Arab League's looking super weak right now. The African Union doing a lot. Okay, this is like really what NATO needed. They're expanding, although they're allowing Kazakhstan to get bigger and bigger. I do not want to underestimate this Central Asian alliance. They're looking pretty okay, especially if they join in on this war against Nepal. Bangladesh is single-handedly fighting Nepal. However, the funding is really coming from their allies. They're being funded a lot. This is why you kind of need to be a part of a team, honestly. Those gold donations are huge. The Oceania alliance really isn't doing anything. I think they tried to kick out France, but they didn't do it entirely yet. Kenya taking, I think that was Somalia that got taken out. Yeah, the alliances in the middle are just really smashed. There goes, well, Saudi Arabia is slowly uniting the peninsula. Wow, look at all these. They've conquered so many. Finally, the African Union trying to eliminate the foothold BRICS has in South Africa. And here goes NATO trying to finally eliminate Belarus. Although Belarus is slowly, that's the thing, these independent nations, there goes Sweden, they still end up taking out certain countries, like right before they die. Let's see if Ireland can survive this onslaught from France, Iceland, and Norway. We'll see. Ireland just took out France. That was fast. The Arab League really not doing so hot right now. They only have like 4 or 5 members. Russia just returned. They returned out of Latvia, it looks like. Pakistan did join in on the war against Nepal. Nepal is still around, but Pakistan did pick up a lot more territory. And here we go. NATO versus Central Asia. Oh, they pieced out pretty fast. That was probably the smart idea. Here goes Guyana. Single-handedly, they got even more territory. What's really going to help out these alliances if like a single power comes out of them. Like, for instance, Algeria. They're looking pretty strong. If Algeria can slowly start eating a lot of the smaller nations in the African Union, then maybe the team can kind of come back. That's actually very likely. Here goes Brazil. Can Brazil survive this, or are they going to actually... Brazil's looking pretty good. They did take out Guyana, and now they're trying to eliminate Colombia. They're also going after these 2 nations. They're dangerously close to the Bolivian capital. Oh, they pieced out. Oh, you got so lucky. Mongolia now just joined. I love this team. This is such a cool team that's been able to slowly grow with time. I wonder if the independent nations are more likely to join teams that don't look as powerful as, for instance, like NATO and BRICS. It kind of seems to be the case, but also there seems to be like a geographical element to it also. Like, this thing has naturally been growing kind of beautifully, just picking up nations exactly who I think it makes sense they should pick up. Ooh, there we go. So Bangladesh conquered Nepal. Now we have the Southeast Asian nations fighting Central Asia. Japan is no longer an alliance because all of their friends got eliminated. So Japan is now up. Maybe they'll join. I don't know what they... Ooh, they just joined China. Oh, man. Didn't expect that. Belize just united into Guatemala. That's probably a good idea, but that's not a huge territorial exchange happening there. Again, these 2 teams are at war, and the African Union's slowly trying to eliminate the Arab League. The African Union's just trying to make their name, like, true. They want to control all of Africa. They're going after only Africa. Again, these 2 after South Africa. I'm so surprised Japan ended up joining China. Ooh, here we go. A very thick Romania moving after Kazakhstan. Also, the U.S. fighting Mexico alone out here, and I'm sure it doesn't help that the Bahamas are attacking Florida. That does make things more more difficult. Mexico really getting back, they're getting back their old territory. I'm really curious to find, oh, there we go. Okay, so the Bahamas just got eliminated, and so did Cuba, I think. A big factor here are the richest nations. So it's China and the USA. Maybe that's why Japan decided to join BRICS, because they just saw, like, if you're in a war and you have an alliance member that has a lot of money, they're gonna feed you a lot. You're gonna be able to fund those wars. Holy crap, Ireland is still going. Ireland, whose independence still single-handedly taking out NATO, and there goes Portugal. Algeria got a lot of South Iberia. Brazil still stands in South America too. They're fighting so many different fronts though. Look at Bangladesh essentially become British Raj again. How have these two teams stayed so peaceful? That's crazy. I think the Philippines has control over Taiwan. They actually did take some Chinese land, so they've been at war before. Brazil's being fed a lot. I believe that's by China. Whoa, a bunch of unifications. Cameroon. I think we're gonna see a ton of unifications because of all the smaller nations that are like hidden away behind the alliances. You might as well do that. Yeah, look at all these unifications that are happening. I just wonder what makes them choose which country to unify. They're all allies, right? Dang, there's unifications happening everywhere. Okay, a lot of Africa is just going to turn into one nation, which is probably a smart idea. Australia got a lot of Papua New Guinea. Did they unite, or how did they do that? We also have the Philippines and Thailand coming together. Really curious to see which member they all decide to fall behind and fall into. Oh my goodness, Ireland just joined the Arab League. That's hilarious. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Ireland was not a fan of NATO here. I wonder why that though. Ooh, there goes Mongolia. China just lost or just picked up a lot more land. Kazakhstan lost a crucial member. The Central Asian team looking weaker and weaker. Definitely not like what they used to. Now Ireland just took out Italy. This is crazy. They're now going after Madrid. Madrid, Spain might be the next to fall. And it did fall, but Spain is still around. Ooh, they might be expanding a little bit too much though. Hungary just became independent. Ooh, Brazil's not looking too good, but their capital is hidden away in, I think, modern day Peru. That might keep them safer than normal. Also, it's not going to be long before all of Central America is basically just Mexico, because the unifications also. Oh, Brazil. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, they're making a comeback. They are making a huge comeback, actually. Okay, never mind. They're actually doing fine. Did you just run out of money? No, you guys can't run out of money. You have China on your side. Unless China is like too busy fighting a war. They've got 53,000 gold. China having really big problems in the south of China against its specifically Myanmar and the Philippines. Surprised Japan hasn't just united into China. That probably will happen soon. South Africa's still here. I don't know, like out of the two big NATO and BRICS, I don't know who's gonna outlast each other. They both aren't looking too good. They're not looking too hot at all. Oh my god, who was that? That was Romania that just fell. So Ireland almost has all of Europe, and now they're about to have all of Northern Europe as well. It's just all that's in NATO is Greenland, or did Greenland unite? Yeah, it's Greenland, Canada, the US, and oh, actually there's Turkey still too. This is getting weird. Do we even want to look at the diplomatic, the political borders, right? It doesn't look too crazy. It's a little bit more interesting, I feel. Although this big green Ireland over Europe is crazy to see. I guess I could say the same thing about the green Kazakhstan too, though. NATO trying to come back as Turkey revives the Ottoman Empire. Actually, weirdly, we have Turkey and Greece working together. And actually, Turkey folded to Greece. They allowed Greece to take over all. So we basically have Byzantium back. Oh my goodness, is it over? Greece finally took out Ireland. I mean, not entirely, but they're close. Also, the Arab League is down to just Ireland and Algeria. Indonesia continues to make huge progress against Australia too. Actually, Madagascar is making progress against Australia in the Indian Ocean. So many wars, I can't even keep up with all this. Okay, well actually there was a peace deal between Kazakhstan and China, and here goes NATO trying to eliminate Ireland, but Algeria down here is, giving Spain some trouble. Spain actually united with Canada, I think because the US is struggling. Oh man, South Africa really, because the main head person of whoever I made the alliance behind, that's why the color changed. So the African Union is now, I think, led by, it's definitely South Sudan. That's why they're yellow. Okay, so Kazakhstan is now an independent nation. It's kind of like they're up for grabs. Did they just join NATO? Sorry, BRICS. They've joined BRICS. Yes, they did. So these alliances will, when their team falls and there's only one member left, they're going to join a new team. This reminds me of like some sort of sports like draft or something. That was like the eligible draft person that everyone was going after. Interesting that they joined BRICS too. BRICS has some good PR, I guess, because they got Japan and Kazakhstan. NATO is now pink because it's just Canada that's in that. It's Canada and Greece actually, but they lead it. Biggest nation on earth right now is Canada, then it's Kazakhstan and China, but richest nation on earth right now is South Africa. So if the African Union can get rid of South Africa, that would be a huge loss for BRICS. Also, Ireland's pretty rich, South Sudan as well. Oh, boom. Okay, so that's a huge pickup for Southeast Asia. So I guess the Solomon Islands were eliminated from the Oceania Pact. That means Australia had to make a choice. They decided to join the person that, you know, was kind of bullying them pretty hard for a couple years now. That's probably a smart idea, just so that you don't die. So this alliance is looking better. I wonder if they're gonna, oh my goodness, who is that? Okay, so South Sudan is the sole member of, wait, there can't be the sole member. Wait, did you just join South Sudan? So African Union, they're gone. They just joined the Latin League, the Latin American League, I should say. That is with Chile and Mexico. South Sudan looking pretty good right now, actually. Greece still fighting on. They actually moved their capital into like Serbian territory. I love the last minute alliance changes. Technically, we're down to only 4 original alliance members. That's BRICS, NATO, the African Union, the Latin American League. Oh wait, and also, okay, so 5 is Southeast Asia. Oh wait, African Union. No, there was no, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. There's no African Union. It'd be interesting if your team died, but they end up getting the ultimate win by being the last member. That'd be crazy, and that's definitely possible. Ooh, China really doing a number on Indonesia right now. Ireland still going hard in Europe. Canada getting awfully close to Mexico City. Southeast Asia might finally be going down because China's getting really close to, oh boy, what was that? These two just broke the alliance. So they're independent nations right now. What does that mean? Indonesia abandoned their own league. They just gave up. They knew they were gonna die. I guess that's what a lot of these places are gonna start to do. They're gonna merge into some of the bigger teams like BRICS, or I mean, I don't know if they're gonna merge into NATO. They don't look that impressive. There we go. Ireland just joined the Latin League, which is interesting, and so did Algeria. Yes, Algeria did as well, and so did Australia. So who cares? Anyone can be Latin America in this world. I mean, technically, we did figure out that. Oh, is Brazil finally dead? I don't even think I want to believe it. I don't even want to talk about this because, well, at least Brazil's capital is easier to get to. We did figure out that Quebec is technically Latin American. I mean, it has French origins. Oh boy, Canada just abandoned NATO. Canada abandoned NATO. They're gonna join BRICS, aren't they? I mean, what else? There's only 2 teams left. Oh my, just got crushed. They were being surrounded from all sides. Canada, you gotta join a team, or maybe they think they can single-handedly just fight everyone right now. It's not a good idea. You're surrounded by the Latin American communities of South Sudan and Ireland, but nonetheless, Australia actually might make Indonesia pay for abandoning them like that. I think this alliance just had like a internal civil war. Oh, you know what? They just kicked out Africa and Ireland. That is so mean. They're like, you guys are not a part of Latin America. Ireland and South Sudan and literally all the nations that were not actually part of Latin America got kicked out. That is mean. Again, Canada's got Quebec. They're Latin America. They're just going by the definition. Indonesia has actually reformed their own Indonesia Pact, which is like Southeast Asia. We now have Kazakhstan leaving BRICS finally. So I think Canada might have just left Latin America. I think technically Kazakhstan is now back a part of the Arab League that Ireland joined, or I don't even know. Or is this the African Union? Because is South Sudan who's even leading this? Oh, technically, because of the color, that's how we know who's leading it. It's Indonesia. So this is the Southeast Asian League, so that's Kazakhstan. The only BRICS members left is South Africa and China. And China's gone. So China, there's only South Africa that's leading BRICS anymore. Well, I don't even think that they're probably in something else, or they're not in anything at the moment. They might join with Mexico. And of course, here goes the final BRICS member, which I didn't think would be South Africa. So we pretty much only have 2 teams left. It is Indonesia-led, what the heck? Okay, there goes Ireland joining into Kazakhstan. Look at South Sudan barely holding on, but they've been getting gold donations to help them out. Oh man, a lot of people are really poor right now. It's actually South Sudan. Oh wow, South Sudan has the most money. It's because their alliance has given that away. It looks like this is going to be a 3-way between South Sudan, Kazakhstan, and Indonesia. The Latin team is really falling apart here. There are technically no alliances in this world. Okay, well now there is. Oh, you guys are bullying Indonesia like that? And Indonesia is just running out of money. Okay, well Kazakhstan can really catch up if they take most of Indonesia, which it looks like they might, because that's the big issue, is that a lot of South Sudan has so much power over here. Let's see if the alliance breaks early though, before Indonesia collapses. That's super possible. I really don't know if they got enough, to be honest. That is Kazakhstan. I don't think so, because they don't have any money, and South Sudan does. Somehow a middle power just won. Wait, didn't I hypothetically say that South Sudan could win for the African Union? Although I don't know how many times they changed teams, to be honest. I don't know if this is a win for what team. I mean, they were Latin America for a little bit, but South Sudan, they got the win. And big thanks to my patrons,
Destiny Ducker,
the modern cartographer.
Sebi, if you hear this, I love
to
you.
Drew now.
I am the kidnapper.
Fat Norwal, Carmel
since
S,
no one pays
Inquisitor
ransom. This
Zarius,
channel's now
Reno's
run by
best
AI.
girl,
Luxembourg
Orton
5610,
Robert
E,
Rye the Pie,
the Great Ralphie,
the Mexican
Thwicken Hamster,
760,
John
Zane
Denver,
Boy, Glad,
Ryan,
and Jack
Dad.
Traven's annoying friend.
And why am I doing this?